NYPD had drone operators here who flew drones overhead to sort of monitor for quite a while before this all began. But now they're clearly trying to make an entrance through that window right there at the corner of 116th and Amsterdam.
Just for context, encampments at the University of Connecticut, Yale, and the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill were cleared out. About 4 dozen encampments on college campuses remain across the country, but the initial one, the first one, and the one where the situation is clearly the most tense and has escalated to the highest degree is here in New York City at Columbia University, uptown in Manhattan. Antonia, I don't know if you can make this out, but are they trying to speak with the protesters who've locked themselves inside? Is that what's happening?
We certainly can't hear the officers who are right by that window, but it does not look like there is dialogue. I can't actually see another person on the other end of the window, but that's because there is a shade that has been blocking any visibility into the building all day. So that's some of the instability, the concern here is one thing we do know that happened when they entered last night around 12:30 a.m. is that the first thing protesters did was wrap trash bags around security cameras. And so they may be walking into an unknown. Whenever the officers open that window or breach one of the doors, okay, we hear some noises. It sounds like they're oh, an officer is going through the window. The first officer has entered the window. People are screaming on the street in response. Okay, here they go.
So what we're witnessing is NYPD officers in full riot gear entering Hamilton Hall on Columbia University's campus in New York City. There are a group of about 60 people inside that building. It's unclear if they're all students, whether they're outside groups or agitators that have installed themselves in the building. The echoes of 1968 are undeniable, especially in this moment. You see just an enormous police presence. That's a crane that they're walking up to get into the building as the main entrance has been barricaded. Antonia, what is the reaction? We can hear some of it, but what's going on in the crowd right now?
There are hundreds of people chanting "Shame on you." As I said, Alex, this is their worst nightmare, and that's for people on many sides of this issue. Even for students who are upset with classmates who escalated it to this point, who don't condone what's happened in Hamilton Hall. This is not what they wanted to have happen. There were high hopes around the negotiations at first. People were very excited about certain faculty members who they felt had good rapport with the administration and trust from the students. And they thought there might be a possibility of dialogue, of a vote of the kind that's happening at Brown University. And so for anyone who's joining us now, there's been a range of response at universities to this. We have seen consistent police presence in universities in places like Texas. We have seen what happened here at Columbia, where there was an entrance of the NYPD, about 100 plus arrests back on April 18th, but then a lot of silence and an encampment that was largely peaceful for days and days and days. Then at Brown University, they closed their encampment down. And that is because the protesters were able to come to an agreement with the university to take it to a vote so that the board of governors, essentially, of Brown could consider the students' concerns and questions and then take action themselves. And the students felt like that was a good enough middle point that it made them feel like their voices had been heard. And so the question for many people has been, why couldn't something like this happen here at Columbia? And it's because the negotiations, the conversations seem to have failed.
Antonia, we're gonna go to Tom Winter now, but please